All right, first reviews time, baby. And we're going to make this one quick, okay? Because this is 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which of course comes out this Friday. I feel like there's like no advertisement for this. Like, I don't know. I think 28 years later for Sony didn't do as well as they would hoped. And they were just like, all right, I mean, we have another movie. I guess we'll still release it. We're not going to market it that much, though. I think this movie's not going to do very well, but I could be wrong. But I have a feeling it's going to be good. I heard a lot of really good early word of mouth, and I really liked the first one. I really thought it was good. So, I wish I could get that reaction out without it being shitty, but at this point, I don't know because I did a reaction, but it's the audio is fucked. Let's just say. Let's go. I'm assuming it's going to get around the same. I'm going to say 83%. Let's just get to it. Let's go. Let's go. Got an itch. There it is. I see it. I still want to see Primate. I might actually do a reaction for that one. 28 years. No, don't show me. I don't want to see. Here it is. All right, let's go. That's actually higher than the first one. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Damn, that's really good. And that's a good way to start the fucking year too, right there, baby. All right, I wish we could see the average rating. Fuckers, they got rid of it. Damn, that's way higher than I was expecting. Well, not way higher, but like almost 10 points higher. Nia DaCosta's 28 years later, the Bone Temple dangles some unexpected, much appreciated humanity amid its punishing terror and nightmarish violence. I don't know why Danny Boyle didn't direct this one. Not that I care if it's Nia DaCosta. I'm just saying I was very surprised. Sorry, I was looking at something. Though the brunt of I guess because it's just a lot, I guess. But though the brunt of this middle chapter wraps up all of its fresh tangents, so at a decent conclusion, it's also quite apparent that the parting shots are just another tease for another sequel. Which I have a feeling it's going to be our boy Jimmy. Gillian Murphy's character. As the middle part of a new trilogy, the film certainly embraces its second act status, expanding the ideas and setting up a concluding chapter with another provocative cliffhanger. Ooh. Because the cliffhanger in the last one was crazy. I was like, who the fuck are these guys? Dude, the scene right before that, though, I won't spoil it, but it's so good. Such a great scene. DaCosta confidently eschews Boyle's frantic visual vocabulary, opting for patience and stillness without losing intensity. The fear doesn't come from the camera screaming in your face. It's a nice aesthetic relief. Oh, okay. So it's much more quiet than saying then. The last movie definitely went a little... I mean, some of the camera work was really cool. I really liked it, but I understand what this review is trying to say. Anyway, part one, sweated to establish a... What? Oh, I get you. So, okay, it worked really hard. To establish a Britain mired and fantastic decay that echoed developments in the real world. The new film, evocatively shot by Sean feels like a trivial, if entertaining, diversion on the way to a more substantial closing fall. Finds is Dr. Kelsey, who's a great character in the first one. It's so compelling that spending more time with the tragic final doctor in the land of the sick and the dead is entirely welcome. Hell yeah. Although more finds is always a good thing. 28 years later, the Bone Temple simply doesn't have the solid storytelling or enthralling characters that its predecessor has. Okay. A lot of people agree or disagree. Simpler, but also bolder and bloodier than its predecessor. Ooh, bloodier. The Bone Temple is a more than worthy sequel. DaCosta's got a real knack for fear, having done a bang-up job bringing Candyman, yeah, that was good, into the 21st century back in 2021. She doesn't conceal much with her gorgeous and unsparing direction as she makes us wince and, oh my god, over and over again. Even though I enjoyed the film slightly less than 20 years later, I still found myself so fascinated and impressed by the creative risks both of these films have taken. Yeah. At least for the first movie, I agree with that. That's for sure. Audience, if you want to see a lot of dick in that movie, then you good. Is that a risk? The dick risk? We got a dick risk. Audiences get white knuckle thrills as well as enough meat on the bone for them and a rage-infected zombie to chew on. Nice. 28 years later, the Bone Temple is bold, bloody, and bonkers filmmaking at its finest and needs to be seen to be believed. Just maybe bring a sick bag. 20 years later, The Bone Temple is a more than worthy follow-up to last year's film. Visually glorious, a great sense of ironic humor, and drops enough literal and proverbial needles to make an audience applaud and craving for more. Oh, shit. Damn, this motherfucker really didn't like it. I thought I legit thought it fucking said 5 out of 4. I was like, whoa, he really liked it. And then I was like, oh. Damn, 5 out of 4. Shit. Dumb derivative sequel drives respected horror franchise into the dirt. Damn, he really didn't like it. That's crazy. There are some actually pretty low reviews in the negative section. So, like, I thought it'd be like negatives, like, yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10, you know, like a 3 out of 5 or something like that. But no, like, I mean, 2 out of 4 is not that bad, but like that low, and then the next one is pretty low, right? 5 out of 10, you know, lower than I was expecting. Zach Pope liked it. I know of that person. I've seen that person a lot. Spencer Perry, okay. C minus, but still fresh. Weird. Is a dark, twisted, and wild ride through the apocalypse. Ray Fiennes and Jack O'Connell. Yeah, he's barely in the last movie, but Jack O'Connell, I can already tell he's gonna be a highlight for the next movie. And deliver career best performances. Much like a dotted on youngest child. Whatever. Fuck, I'm done. You said something I don't understand, so fuck it. DaCosta finds new elements of pathos and even comedy. Both center around Fiennes' a tragic comic performance as the man closing the book on that last chapter of history. Tragic comic. Okay. Delivers the performance of the year in mid-January. Damn. I mean, Ray Fiennes is great. He always has been. If the film is missing the remarkable visual artistry of the first film, from which it also alters its narrative focus, it provides a welcome, heavy emphasis on Fiennes, who gives a curious, soulful performance. Hell yeah. I'm so glad it's actually focusing on him. I mean, I'm assuming the kid will still be a focus, you know, especially considering what's happening with him and that gang of weirdos. But I'm assuming it's going to be focused more on him. I wonder if Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to have a lot of. I mean, he's going to be in it, obviously, but like, I don't know. Just when I thought maybe I didn't like Nia DaCosta as a director, and she slaps me upside the head with 28 Years Later. I know some people are going to give her shit because of the Marvels, but I don't even know if it was really her fault. The Marvels, I don't know. It just seemed like a bad idea to make your Captain Marvel sequel a trio of characters nobody gives a flying fuck about. You know what I mean? Besides maybe just focusing on Captain Marvel herself and making her a better character. They said, no, let's just add 2 other characters. And it's not that I don't care about Miss Marvel, but people didn't watch it, and it's just, you know, people like her, but she's not that popular. Obviously, the Marvels was a huge flop. I think that's a fucking right there. And I don't think the show did that well. I think it did fine, but I mean, if it did extremely well, then we would have a season 2 by now, just like with Loki, but that's not the case, obviously. 20 years later, the Bone Temple, 5 out of 5, continues to push the franchise in exciting directions while also always subverting our expectations, an astonishing feat that horror sequels rarely achieve. It's true. Delivers another masterfully villainous performance off the back of last year's Sinners. He understands what's needed to make a vastly complex. I always thought Jack O'Connell was going to get really popular years ago. Like, I remember seeing him in Eden Lake. You need to watch Eden Lake, by the way, if you want to see. Though, I mean, you think his villain was like fucking super villainous in Sinners? I don't know about in this movie. I'm sure he's gonna be extremely villainous. But watch Eden Lake, you will fucking hate him. Eden Lake's a great movie. Please watch it. It's so good. It's a rough watch, though. I will say, it's not a fun watch almost at all, but it's a great movie. And Michael Fassbender's in it. So if you like Michael Fassbender, there you go. Ray Fiennes rules, and Nia DaCosta's uncompromisingly brutal and at times melancholic follow-up to Danny Boyle's last year's sequel. And that's funny, because that's exactly what I thought about 28 Years Later. It was very melancholic. The way it was able to treat death in a pretty... Like, it almost, not that it made it like happy, it didn't, but like, you know, it treated it in a way where you weren't like, oh, we're like, oh, okay, there you go. This is the best way I can explain it. I don't know. I also don't want to spoil that just in case. I mean, the movie is still pretty new. It only came out 6 months ago, so 7 months ago. So it's not even a year old. So anyway, it doesn't flinch during it, but you will. Okay, it's a splendid step up from the predecessor, a richer and even more daring examine. Fuck it. Anyway, key to this is Fiennes' commando performance of tour de force with so few fucks given that the film's astonishing, electrifying climax could put him back into the awards. No, I'm sorry. Like he could have the best performance of all time, and the Oscars will be like, man, fuck horror movies. I ain't, dude. If this is the case, then fucking what's her name from Hereditary should have been nominated and fucking won. Also, Toni Collette. But whatever. Yeah, we don't need to talk about it. It's fine. Whatever. Fuck the Oscars. They can suck my fucking fat, throbbing fucking micro dick. Anyway, or 8 out of 10 from IGN. Oh, it's IGN give it a good score. I gotta be good, right? Oh no, I didn't know she was gonna be here. Hold on. Actually, no. Let me not wet my throat here. Actually, it'll probably be better if I go into this dry as fuck. All right. Okay. Well, unlike the last installment, the Boone Temple is a thrilling and fresh new take on the zombie genre. Garland's script is powerful and meaningful, while DaCosta's directing is visually stunning. Fiennes and O'Connell make for an incredible duo. Maybe I probably should wet. Anyway. There you go, Grace. I didn't know you were going to be here. Get the fuck out of here. All right, we're done. We looked enough. Let's look at Metacritic. 70. Wow. Oh shit. A Night at the Seven Kingdoms. Oh fuck. Oh wow. I wasn't expecting that actually. Code Violet. I actually wasn't expecting that already. Doesn't that come out like next week or something? Or does that come out this week? Oh no, it comes out this week. No, another thing on Sunday. Fuck. I got Prime also. That's why. I mean, that's only like a 20-something minute episode. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. No, actually, who cares? No, actually, it's not a big deal. All right, I guess I should read these too. But let me look at this. 79. Damn, man, that's really high. Oh no, the movie's actually not as long as I thought it would be. I thought this would be longer for some reason. We don't need to look at these. I just wanted to see the Metacritic score. All right, I guess let's look at Night at the Seven Kingdoms. Fuck it, just real quick. 80. Oh, okay, it's a little lower here than I was expecting. It's ahead of 72 over there, so I thought maybe this would be like close to a 90. That's not bad though. Hey, I'll take 83%. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is a welcome return to Westeros that works better in the buddy comedy arena rather than solely slaying its competition. That sounds good to me. That's what it looked like. I mean, it looked like they were... That's who that was. I was trying to figure out, because I've been watching The Gentleman, the show, and I the first episode, I mean, he's in the entire season, I assume, but he's like the best character. Daniel Ing's character, he plays the brother of the main character. He's the best character. And I immediately when he showed up in The Gentleman, I was like, why do I know that guy? He's in the trailer too. Isn't he like the fucking like... He's in the trailer for this, is what I mean. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, let's look at this. Just real quick, I'll read some. Please no Grace Randolph. Well, let's see. She's a top critic, right? For some fucking reason. So... Why is she a top critic? She has the stupid... Well, whatever. She's great. And I'm glad she's a success. It just really shows you that it doesn't matter how much of a failure you are, you can be a fucking... you can be a movie critic. It doesn't matter. Anyway, it may be an addendum, but it's proof that there's plenty of a Westeros terrain left. Okay, now it brings humor and fellowship to Westeros on an intimate scale. It's a brilliantly immersive story with rich characterizations that largely ignores fantasy elements. Okay, just like I adored the novellas, I love the show. It's wonderful getting to step back into Westeros and to explore a different side to it. Like its heroes, it keeps an old-fashioned chivalric moral compass, a series simply sworn to protect the innocent. I mean, that sounds nice. Every you know, I mean, obviously there will be dark elements of course. Sometimes less is infinitely more. Those who skip a Night at the Seven Kingdoms deserve, as dear Dunk would say, a good whack on the ear. Night at the Seven Kingdoms doesn't have much spectacle because that's not what its story needs. Its lack of spectacle is why it works. I mean, that's... The best stuff in Game of Thrones is when they sit down and they talk at a fucking table. I don't even know. It's like if the fireplace scene before the Battle of Winterfell was the basis for a whole show. Okay. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is a charming new addition to the Game of Thrones franchise that will woo you back to Westeros. It's a story that doesn't need the pyrotechnics of Dragonfire. Is every fucking review going to say this? Are we forgetting that a lot of the best stuff in Game of Thrones, the stuff that we all like mourn the loss of, And a lot of the best stuff in House of the Dragon is just like, I mean, most of the House of the Dragon is not spectacle. Like, I don't know why every review has to say this. Like, yeah, the best stuff in Game of Thrones is not the spectacle. I'm sorry, it's not. I mean, it's cool, don't get me wrong. Technically, it's awesome, and I love watching some of that stuff. But like, the best stuff is when characters are just talking. When I was gonna say Peter Dinklage. When Tyrion is scheming and Tywin's scheming, and fucking we get to see like Jon at Winterfell. You know, I mean, it's whatever. It's true that Seven Kingdoms doesn't have the scope or the depth that Thrones had at its peak, but it does tell a cracking good story and one that makes the world of Westeros feel new again. It's the little things, and the little things add up nicely, and they say it has the potential to be the best of the franchise. Oh, shit. Well, I mean, if it ends well, then I guess so. It's only in this final spell that a night starts to feel more like Game of Thrones. Up to then, it feels utterly separate, operating in some sort of bizarre tonal other world. Okay, so it's like goofy, and then out of nowhere it gets really dark. I mean, whatever. Slow at first with gratuitous violence, but Dunkin' Egg should win hearts, okay? Energizing the franchise, and that the Seven Kingdom maintains its focus on the often overlooked small folk, behaviorally unconventional lords, humble livelihoods, and occasionally repulsive aspects of the lives of those born outside nobility. If you like for its grandeur, you'll be disappointed. What the fuck? But a lot of really good reviews. 5 out of 5, 9 out of 10, 5 out of 5. I mean, hey, 5 out of 5. All right, hold on. I need to read some of these 5 out of 5s. Now that the Seven dipping its toes into Westeros is frustratingly uneven, flattening the world into a juvenile, tonally confused buddy adventure that never quite graduates into the dark and dangerous realm it promises. Okay. By the finale, season 1 exists as more of a side dish to be enjoyed alongside the main rather than a full meal on its own, and that's not a good thing. Okay. 2 out of 10. Pre-existing fans of this world will almost certainly be underwhelmed, while newcomers will fail to see the allure of this thin premise. Greenlighting a show set in this universe makes complete sense, but this one is a true dud. Damn. That's an extremely fucking negative review. Way more negative than I was expecting. All right, well, and most reviews are very positive, though, so I'm very excited for it. It looks like it could be a fun time. But there you go. That's it. That's 28 years later. And the other one, Dead Man's Wire, I really want to see, by the way. Yeah, I should watch Lord of the Rings in theaters again. This Star Trek Starfleet Academy, by the way, looked fucking massively cringe. And by the way, all Star Trek shows get really good reviews, but most fans will tell you it fucking suck cock, so that doesn't even mean anything. I guess that's another example of, like, reviews don't matter when shit that most people will say is dog shit will get great reviews by critics. Anyway, that's it. We're done. Bye.